Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Odd Duck Broadcast. I am your host, Quindolyn Rivers, and today is our first ever solo Dolo episode. I am a little under the weather, so we're going to try to get through this, all right? We might call this the Sniffles episode. We'll see what my Twitch chat votes on. But yeah, this is going to just be a certified yap sesh, I'm pretty sure. If we can go for an hour, that'd be kind of impressive. I normally love talking to myself, but the second there's a camera involved, it just feels suddenly super embarrassing. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but yeah, I'm just all over the place. We're going to give it our best effort. I'm fighting for my life. You're going to see me blowing my nose 1,000,001 times just because I'm under the weather. I'm fighting for my life. I've taken like the heavy duty version of Sudafed, but even God's strongest warrior loses a battle time and time again. And it feels like I'm constantly losing. I don't know if I've won actually yet, but we'll see how it goes. Off the rip, I wanted to talk about Twitch. This is something I've been really trying to commit to. And a la Timothy Chalamet and removing this nonchalant attitude. I want to be chalant. I've always feel like I've been a chalant person, obviously, despite my mysterious exterior and black cat energy. I do feel like I'm a very like casual guy, and I'm very open with being passionate and yearning for things. And I just want to be good at Twitch. I really want to do this. I want this to be my life. I think it would be a lot of fun. There's a lot of creators that I look up to that inspire me, and they live a life that I am trying to capture. And so hopefully I can figure that out one way or another. I've been streaming 6 days a week, 7:12 Central Standard Time, literally every day but Sunday, and that's my Instagram subscribers only. One of the upcoming stream ideas I have is I'm going to like utilize chat suggestions and mix a mixtape for it. And I want to do this like once a month, where we're coming together as a community, supporting artists and stuff like that by like bringing awareness to them. And then I have this concept of like selling my autograph and giving out the mixtapes that then we make. So I don't know if that's kind of a backhanded way to support artists, but it's whatever. Okay, sue me. I'm broke. What are we talking about? And one of the ideas to like help promote this and create a commercial for it is I want to get a PlayStation 1, which has a built-in visualizer, which is like this really neat. It like adds a bunch of video stuff that then syncs up to the music, and it looks really neat. I've always thought that that was cool, and the fact that it's built into the PlayStation 1. I've been doing research, and apparently like audio files everywhere say that the PlayStation 1 is actually like a really, really good CD player, and I'm kind of obsessed with that. I think that's really cool. There's a local, it's called the Game Exchange. It's like a video game store. It's like GameStop, but not owned by a corporation, but the people. And they sell PlayStation 1s. I'm hoping, since I don't have a CRT TV anymore, I'm hoping that I can just be like, hey, can I film this at your store, please? And we'll have the name of the store at the start, and we'll call you a sponsor. And hopefully they let me record there and capture the footage of the visualizer, because I think it would be very neat. But it's just a matter of if they'll let me do it. The last time I was there, this guy recognized me from soccer. He was like, did you used to play soccer? And I was like, yes. He's like, were you good? I was like, I was pretty spicy. I was owning it. I was like, yeah, I was good. I was one of the best people in the city, sue me for having confidence. And then like he played for like a different high school in our city, but I thought that was cool. He graduated 2 years after me. So we never played against each other. He was on JV, but like he knew he played with the people that I was friends with and I grew up playing soccer with. So I thought that was very cool. And then he came around and was like, weren't you also on a TV show? And then we started talking about that. I wasn't in the mood to like not talk about Big Brother. I was just like, I had things to do for like the first time ever. So I was like, they got caught up talking to someone else. And I just went, hey guys, thank you so much for your help. I'm going to big dog dip, but it was really nice talking to you. I love that you played soccer, man. That's awesome. And I left and I was like, okay, whenever I call them, it's going to come off as like, hey, you recognize me. Handout, please. And hopefully they let me do it. Some of my goals, I want to do like IRL streaming, excuse me. I think that would be pretty fun. There used to be this challenge called the like Doug challenge where you and a group of like 4 or 5 of your friends would get in your car, and then it was like this drive-through challenge. I'll link it in the description. I thought it was so funny. And so what you do is you just order what the person ahead of you ordered, and you have to go to like, it's like a competition to see how many fast food places you can go to before you get burnt out. And there's some certain locations that you have to visit, the mainstays like KFC, stuff like that, just in case you just because there's always the chance that they could get this really big KFC bucket, and it adds this suspense and it's really dramatic and fun. I really liked those streams, so I would like to do that with people like Corey, America, Leah from my season would be great. Like Joseph, I don't know, like I don't know if Joseph eats that much. Like Leah puts down some Taco Bell. Leah would be an absolute warrior in this competition. And here's the thing, I know this is a compliment. Okay, she has one of the most impressive palates I know, but she puts food down. She's like, has the courage of 1,000 suns. Love it. And then like Corey in America, I feel like those are my friends, and so I would love to do that with them. And then we got to get some Survivor people in there, of course. I've recently like been really interested. I want to become better friends with Dwight more. I watched his season. I knew of him beforehand because it was like Blood of the Clock Tower streams, but I knew that the Survivor community respected him, but I hadn't seen season 43. Now that I have, I would like to do that. If I found myself in LA recording this, Jag is getting an invite. Jag, and it's really interesting. People online, I feel like just don't understand how great of a personality in person that Jag has and is. He has been nothing but nice to me. He is so cool. He is just so understanding. And he's really funny. Like, I thought he was funny in the live feeds and like, seeing, but like being on Twitter, very rarely did people talk about how hilarious Jag is. Like, I remember him, the second they move in, him and Riley are doing bits where she was like, oh yeah, Jag just taught me how to juggle. And he like instantly committed to it. Like, I always just thought that they were so funny. And he's, Riley's another person who I really like. We haven't talked too much, but really nice person. Like, I don't know what else to say other than I really liked her vibe. And so, yeah, I would like to include them and stuff like that. Hassan, Cutie Cinderella, like the Fear and podcast people, they do their IRL streams where it's like they're at theme parks and things like that. I always found that so interesting. I get kind of self-conscious when it comes to recording content at a theme park. It's just like humiliating. But I think that when the cameras are rolling for a stream, it's like that's already the content. So you don't have to be in your head about like recording because you're already filming. I don't know. That's just my stance on it. I don't know. I went to Busch Gardens with some BB-26ers and I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to record like a YouTube video ranking all the rides at Busch Gardens and I couldn't do it. I was then like it was so bad. And it was like I had the support of my friends there, but it still felt embarrassing. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. But it was a lot. Goodness, I'm so sick. This is Hideaway Pizza. I don't know if this is an Oklahoma exclusive, but I was like Hideaway Pizza. This is not sponsored by any means, but they always have like Volkswagen Beetle art everywhere. And so as someone who drives a Beetle, I'm obsessed. I love it, Social media wise, it's taking so much work, but when my game plan is every Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to brainstorm. I'm going to record 2 reels a week. That's my schedule. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to exercise creativity. I'm going to do it. I think that like, I feel like I'm getting in my head where it all needs to be really good. And so then I'm creating nothing, which is then just squandering this opportunity that I have that I feel is really irresponsible. It's slipping through my fingers, I need to finish my infographic influencer media kit thing. Blue from season 25, she helped me out a lot. And so I'm going to be able to finish it. And I think that I'll feel confident reaching out to brands, but it's just like embarrassing. Like, I don't know if any other ADHD people feel this, but like there's this paralysis when you have things to do and it's overwhelming and then all of a sudden you can't do anything. And I know that I get in that cycle and I know how it impacts my like, ability to get work done, productivity, stuff like that. And it's to me embarrassing. And then that is adds to the cycle of pressure. And it's like, dude, you're failing, you're screwing up this opportunity. And so it just becomes this like really unhealthy situation. Like it's not good for anyone. It's so dumb. I need to get over it and I'm going to work towards that. Like, and I think it's exposure therapy. I think as long as I'm just putting content out, people who inspire me in this space is obviously Turner. Turner found his niche. I'm an artsy fartsy person, but I'm not like Turner. To me, it makes sense. He puts out really good stuff. I am more. I do the artsy fartsy stuff for me, but I find an interest in his content, and so I will always share his stuff on my stories just because he's someone who number one has treated me with nothing but kindness. He's been really cool and his content is sick nasty. Like I just love this guy. He's so cool. Another thing that I want to do is a streamathon. You know, I don't watch Kai Cenat, but like his stuff is really cool. I like what he does. Ludwig was the OG like streamathon person that I first heard about. And so that's once again, he inspires me. I want to do what he does, where I put on events like Super Mario like Strikers tournament with reality TV personalities. But in order to do that, I need some like bankroll. I haven't done my taxes yet. A little nervous on what my bank account's going to look like after the fact. So fingers crossed I have money. But as long as I keep working online, I can make some money. That's the game plan. But one of the ideas I have for my streamathon is I want to raffle off these toys called Plunderlings. I reached out to their Instagram and they left me on red. And so I'm going to try to find their email address and be like, hey, an account of my size with my reach, having a diverse audience compared to, they have a lot of like toy collectors in their audience. And that's it. You need a lot of like, on like marketing is like tapping into new audiences. And so it's like, normally I would be charging you money, right? Like if you were to reach out to an influencer like me, it would cost you money. And instead I'm offering to just raffle off your product, which I think, obviously it's not costing them that much money to build the toys versus like what they're sold for. So it's like, I feel like I'm offering them a lot of value. And I know that that's really cocky, but I think it's true. And they kind of left me on red, which left a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to let them miss out on this opportunity, which sounds really cocky. But I'm gonna go out and get what I want, which is I want not one but two lines of their toys. It reminds me of the movie Small Soldiers. I was gonna bring out the VHS like tape I have of it. Could not find it for the life of me. But when Alan Abernathy is sitting there and he's like talking to the truck driver and he goes, you ever have stuff fall off the back of the truck? And then the truck driver's like, I don't like your tone. It's too loud. Like, that's what I'm going for, bro. Let me move some product for you and see how it goes. All right. And then maybe you give me an affiliate code or something. Or just pay me in toys. I would totally accept that. Like, that's so irresponsible financially. And whatever. But that's true. I would take payment via toy. Absolutely. Some of the other things is like posting more active on like TikTok and stuff like that. I've been a Twitter and TikTok like reply guy. I need to stop. I need to get off the line. I need to go live my life, find myself in interesting opportunities. I reached out to like the OKC Thunder. They also didn't open my message. I'm like, what is happening? Also, in Oklahoma, it's not like there's that many influencers. So, hello, hit my line. Matt and Mackenzie inspire me so much. Like, they are just, to me, and Demi, they just post content, and it's good. Like, and so I want to do that frequently. And so to do that, I feel like I have to find myself in interesting situations And with that, it just involves me putting myself out there. And the Thunder is one of those avenues. I saw that Matt and Mackenzie went to like a volleyball game and they were living it up. Matt was having such a good time. And I'm like, dude, I want to go to a volleyball game. Please, come on, man. Like, I'm begging you. I want to set up a Patreon where we're going to have like a TV show discussion, a movies club, stuff like that. And the TV show, I really want to watch Teen Wolf and Euphoria. Those are two shows that I really want to get into. And I think it would be fun to watch that with people. And then the movie club, my idea is to just do movies through Tubi so that it's free for people. And the like barrier to entry is just like the $5 Patreon charge. And then that's it. And then we're able to discuss all these movies because Tubi has what might be the most broken system I've ever seen in my life. You don't even have to make an account. You don't even have to give them your email and they let you watch movies for free and they give you like what? 2 commercials? That's a pretty good deal. Like, I don't know how they're making money on this at all. Like, it blows my mind. They have to be laundering money. And listen, Tubi, I support your cause. All right. If that's what it takes, go piss, girl. I'm not gonna call the police. I'm not gonna expose you to the authorities. I'm gonna join the train. I want in on it. Give me some cash, please. Some other things I have coming up are the Big Brother cruise, which I'm excited for. It's gonna be great. I'm not kidding. That might be the most delicious water I've ever had in my life. That's straight up delicious. So the Big Brother cruise is pretty crazy. It's actually not a Big Brother cruise. It's the after show cruise. And I'm going to be on a big ass boat with Brittany Haynes, Danielle Reyes, Jag, Corey, America, Howie, James, Bo, Janelle, Kaser, Jag, of course, Cam from season 25, Angela, like my Angela. And there's other people I'm forgetting for sure. I got to think about it. Oh, Michael, Cowboy Ellis, like just random people, TBH. But I'm super excited for this. I'm excited to interact with like all the fans. I feel like if you're signing up for this cruise, it means you love old school Big Brother. So I'm curious about what my reception is going to be. If people are excited to meet me, either way, I'll find my audience. You know, there's going to be 17 reality TV people, and like they either said 200 or 400 fans. And so I'm like, just numbers wise, they're going to have to hang out with me, you know? Like, what's the game plan here? And there's a lot of fun stuff that we're going to do with them. And I think it'll be great. One of the funny things is like I'm in a group chat with all these Big Brother legends, and I just had to be casual about it. I figured out who Howie was within seconds of him texting the group, even without the "What up, K sir?" Like I knew he was talking about boobies and cans, and like what I was just like, okay, so that's Howie for sure. Couldn't be anyone else. Bo, I've met Bo before, and I really like him. One of my ideas for this is Brendan and Rachel. Duh, they're going to be there too. One of my ideas for content while we're there is I'm going to reach out to a like swim trunks company. I found these like Wild West swim trunks that I'm excited about, and they have Hawaiian shirts as well. This is a different website, but I'll reach out to them as well, where they have like Wild West button up. It's like a Hawaiian style top, like breathability, but they look like Western shirts and they're short sleeve. They're very cute. And they match the swim trunks that I found. And I want to match. What the? Ain't no way my internet's going out. But I'm going to match with Corey. I'm going to match with Jag. I'm going to reach out to Brendan. Or no, I'm going to reach out to Rachel to surprise Brendan. And I think that that will be hilarious because he's a very like, you know, he's a college professor. He's always been like, you know, Rachel is the fun, energetic one, and he's the more reserved, like whatever. And so I think it would be funny to have him match our energy as a dad. I think that's hilarious. I'm sorry for the internet dropping a second ago. I worry that I'm going to have to pay my parents for better Wi-Fi just because I feel like I'm sucking up all their data by Twitch streaming 6 days a week. Check me out every now and Quinn on Twitch. But that's one of my ideas is to match with everyone. I do find myself in a predicament, and please comment below. I really will value your opinions on this. So I want to reach out to Corey, Jag, his brother Jas will probably be there. We're gonna do Brendan and then Bo and myself. And so it's like I don't want to exclude anyone, and I feel like that would hurt people's feelings. So it's like I feel obligated to reach out to Cam, James, Ryan, Kaser, Howie, and at least ask them. Maybe I send in the text, hey, if you want to be in on these like matching swim trunks, let me know. But then that kind of ruins the surprise of Brendan, right? For Brendan, and I think that that would be very funny. It's just I don't know. I never want to be the person excluding people. Like I just find that kind of hard. And I know that I would feel some type of way about it. I remember at my old job when I was a business development representative, this was before my time as a nurse recruiter, even. I was a college soccer player, and I wear that on my sleeve. I am so proud of the fact that I played college soccer. I'm so proud that I was an indoor track athlete. We were conference champs, baby. Like, I was a part of a really successful like indoor track team, and I had so much fun with my soccer team. Like, these are people who I'm like best friends with to this day. And so, I wear that as a badge of honor because there's not a lot of people from my city who even go on to play the next level, stick to it, and then graduate from their college. I did that. And so it's like, to me, it's something that I'm very proud of, and I share it with anyone who will listen. And my training coordinator, who I had personal problems with out the wazoo, I just thought it's like when you are licking the boot of someone who has a private jet over the needs of someone who's making, your team is making 30K a year, like I'm gonna have an issue with that. I am always on the side of labor. I'm never gonna side with the CEO. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not me. I don't think that that's that polarizing either. I feel like most people in the U.S. across the globe are being exploited for their labor. Even people like LeBron James, who I think is the closest you can get to an ethical like millionaire, just because he's going out, he has to go out there and perform and play and stuff like that. It's like a chaperone, right? Like these musicians, right? As much money as LeBron makes, as much money as Chapel Roan makes, they're still being exploited. The NBA is making way more off LeBron than anyone, and so I just feel like most people are being exploited, and I'm always going to take the people side over the CEO. And so me and this training coordinator had problems through that lens. Like he just didn't see it that way, and it really frustrated me. And I would share my feelings because it's like, bro, you're a training coordinator, and our job is to call 150 people. After the like 2-week training period, you're like your job is pretty much done, and then the other aspects of his job would be like helping us out and answering questions. I would ask questions, and he would only do this to me, but he'd be like, "You don't know how to do this," and he would like shame me for not knowing how to do these like intricate like processes on Salesforce, which is it's called a CPM or a CRM, customer relation like manager, and it's just like it keeps track of all your people. And he would like make me feel bad and like shame me for not knowing things, and it really pissed me off. So I felt like he was even taking advantage of us, and he was making like 65K a year. And I remember him inviting everyone on our team except for me to go watch the World Cup at a bar. He invited someone who was 19 years old to the bar, saying like, "Hey, yeah, like we'll talk to the bar and we'll let them in, let you in. Obviously, you can't drink, but it's like you're willing to go above and beyond. You, as like a 35-year-old, you're going above and beyond to hang out with this like 18, 19-year-old. But you're not going to invite me, the guy who played college soccer. And this dude played college soccer at my like college's rivals. Fuck you, Hastings. I hate Hastings, Nebraska. I hate Hastings, Nebraska in the same way that Charles Barkley hates San Antonio, Texas. Okay? I can't stand Hastings. They like their claim to fame, for those of you who don't know, is the guy who discovered like Kool-Aid is from Hastings, Nebraska. But fun fact, his family all went to my college, Doane University in Crete, Nebraska. Best school on the planet. Skodone, roll Tigers, horns down. Come on, could play with me. But it's just like I hate Hastings, Nebraska. I hate their alumni. I hate everything about them. I hate the way they look. I hate the way they dress. I hate the way they act. I hate the way that their city is like set up. All right. I don't like a single thing about Hastings, Nebraska. And it bit me in the butt socially because this guy was like excluding me. And so that's not the first time I've been excluded. Like there's plenty of times growing up I haven't been part of it. But I feel like that's more common when you're younger because people's like frontal lobes haven't developed. They don't fully have like they haven't learned empathy quite as like it's not like when you graduate college, like during college you should be learning this kind of stuff. But like post college, I feel everyone should have a sense of empathy and understanding and put themselves out there to support others. And so for me, I somewhat forgive those in the past when I was like 18 who were irresponsible adults who, or my peers that excluded me, made me feel less than. I'm more likely to forgive them than I am someone who was like 35 and being a dick. And so as someone who's 26 and I'm going into this cruise, it's like, okay, I know the people like Bo and Jag and Jas and Corey and Brendan. We talked at this like event in Florida called Over the Edge. So it's like I feel comfortable reaching out to them, but it's kind of my responsibility as a person to put myself out there to connect with the other Big Brother alumni. And I don't think Howie will care. He's like the same age as my dad. But for people who like Cam, for example, that would feel kind of shitty. And that's crazy, it's hard. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to ask probably Twitch chat every now and Quinn on Twitch. I'm probably going to ask them today for their thoughts on what it is. I feel like they're going to be more cutthroat than I am, which sometimes I need in life. I feel like if I grew up in the East Coast, I'd get eaten alive. I feel like I've always been a very polite person. And then growing up in the Midwest, I feel like there's this idea of Midwest, Nebraska nice, you're very polite, things like that. I say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, stuff like that. And so I feel like that combined with my need to be polite and kind, and now I'm just a pushover. It takes a lot for me to get cooked, to where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to clap back. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to get spicy, that kind of thing. On the cruise, something I do want to do, if anyone has been watching Survivor 48, so far it's a great season. I'm loving everyone so far. There's no one who I'm like just totally put off by. I know that Say is getting a lot of, sassiness online, which like, okay, she shouldn't be calling people hoochie mamas, right? Like maybe don't do that. But where she's from, maybe there's like she said that's like a term of endearment. And that is true. Like I know people growing up in Oklahoma where like that's not an insult, but some people took it as an insult. And so you have to be accepting of the fact that sometimes your language that is normalized in your life and your area isn't always taken the same way in other areas. And it's like our job to be responsible and our response to that. I don't think that we should always do I feel that? Maybe. If someone says they're not comfortable being called that, then you have to be sure to not refer to them as a hoochie mama, right? But like for the most part, I feel it's like when I call people dude and maybe they're non-binary and they don't like gendered terms. I've made that mistake in my life and I feel bad for it, but the job and responsibility is to be like, okay, now that I know this, I have to hold myself to a standard where I'm not calling non-binary people dude unless they're okay with that. And it's literally that easy of a conversation. There are people in my fraternity who are non-binary. We have trans people. And I ask, is it okay for me to call you dude, dog, homie? And then it's like that opens the door. They share what they're comfortable with. And it's like a 2-second conversation is now a lifetime of clarity. And like you should redefine, like confirm things throughout the passage of time, especially with something as complex as like gender and stuff like that. But that is something that I'm actively working towards. And so I hope that here's what people are saying when they're upset with her saying that Mary and Stephanie were hoochie mamas. And she's like, okay, now I know I shouldn't refer to people outside of my circle as that because not everyone's going to take it that way. I feel like other than that, she's playing really, really, really hard. And who can complain? But the reason why I bring up Survivor 48 is they had a cryptex, which I love props. I love spooky, culty, like artifacts. I love things that are just cool like that. And so it inspired me. I think that I'm going to try to get a cryptex for the cruise because there's scavenger hunts on the cruise, apparently. And I'm going to get a cryptex and we're going to have them solve it. And whoever figures it out, maybe they'll get like lunch with me or something. We were talking about like, there's so many people on this cruise that if you want to have like a one-on-one experience with the reality TV people, it might cost money. And so people were discussing like possible things that we could do. And the guy who's setting up all of this cruise stuff, he was being like very helpful of like expressing like, okay, well, you have to consider if you're doing this and you don't want it to cost you money, they're going to have to cover your cost and stuff. And so I joked, I was like, hey, I'll do anything for like $12. If you want to go smoke a pack of Camel Crushers, I'll do it for $12. And if that's what you're looking for from the experience, then I'm happy to provide it because I don't know. I don't want to make too much money, especially because I feel like the cruise is probably really expensive. I have no idea. I think that they're going to have a lot of fun stuff set up, so then it is worth the money. But I'm always going to be cognizant of that. And so that's why I'm super excited to deliver for the fans. I really like talking to fans. Funny enough, we all have like mutual interests in reality TV. So I'm always willing to talk to people about that. And as a super fan, I feel like that's kind of my strength. I was also like the orientation leader of the year. The people who have me on Twitch are so tired of me saying this, but I really was the orientation leader of the year for 2020. And I was like me and my friend Olivia were like, we should have been the OLs of the year. She was an RA, but or whatever it's called, where the TA, she was a TA. We should have gotten some kind of award because we held it down. Shout out Olivia, you're one of my best friends in this life. We don't even talk that much, but I'll always love and respect you. And so like I'm very extroverted. I know how to go into these spaces and just perform. It's not even performing because it's coming from a place of authenticity, but it's like, when you turn it on and you're like, okay, let's go, let's get hyped, I can match the energy of those around me. When I was chilling with Corey in America, I felt like I was being very reserved, which is funny because Corey was like, yeah, Quinn's very high energy. And I was like, I was definitely rolling it back because I was kind of starstruck whenever I hung out with them in Nashville. Like, it's kind of crazy, just like life trajectory wise. It was kind of nuts. But yes, I want to have a cryptex and I want to have like it spell out something cool. I think you only get 5 letters. So we got to figure it out. I thought or it might be like 7, I think. I thought it'd be cool for it to say sick nasty, but I don't think that that's a possibility. And so I think the answer would be like snasty, which is like not exactly what I'm looking for, but kind of fun. One of the things I wanted to do while I was in the show, but elected not to, because number one, I wasn't sure about safety. And then number two, I wasn't even like 100% certain I was going to be on the show. And so I didn't want to, I just wanted to focus on what was in front of me versus focusing on, while I'm in the house, there's this like other thing going on. But I thought it would be fun for me to tweet some coordinates, and it would be like people show up to the coordinates, and it's my friend John Selesky of John Selesky Barber Services, the like salon that he worked at. They would go in and like talk to him. He would then direct them, give them a clue, which would be like would take them to the rock climbing gym that I frequent. And my friend Maya, shout out my dog, best friend in this life. I need to get better at texting you. I'm sorry. But like maybe I need to set up like a weekly FaceTime. Maybe that's the move. But like they would then go to the rock climbing gym, MW Climbing. It's the best place to climb in the Midwest. It's such a good place. It's the staff are incredible, the owners are phenomenal, and like the culture is just safe. I just felt so accepted by them, and I was hoping that like while I was in the house, they would get the opportunity to somehow make money off of me. I don't know how. I shared with Maya that I was comfortable with like, hey, if I shout out MW Climbing or whatever, like, please tell them to like tag me and then repost it, that kind of thing. Because Maya was in charge of my social media. But then they would go to MW Climbing, and then they would get like a cassette tape with like all my favorite songs on it. That was an idea that I had, but it was like, number one, I wasn't sure if I was getting in the house. I needed to lock in, focus on that. Number two, safety. Because you know how like as great of a community as Big Brother is, it's not always the most healthy space. And I ended up being accurate where people didn't like me. They didn't like me because I was the arch nemesis of their boy Tucker, right? And people found me disingenuous, stuff like that. Things that will bother me, but it's okay. People like me now. So that's to me is like always the end of that, where it's like I'm aware that people didn't like me, but I'm lucky enough that they changed their mind. And so it's kind of a good thing I didn't tweet out the coordinates, because then people have been like, this guy is such an attention hog. Oh my God, he's so ridiculous. And then who knows what people would have done with the address of like, they could have review bombed both places. And it's like, how do you bounce back from that? After you have the toothpaste out of the, like, whatever, it's out. You can't put it back in. And so I'm happy I didn't do it. But now we're good. Now we can use me on the outside of the show to promote their businesses. So check out John Selesky of John Selesky Barber Services. They're the best place to get a cut in Omaha, Nebraska. And shout out MW Climbing. Okay, they have a culture of safety, fun, and acceptance, and that's what I love. Other than that, like, I don't have too big of plans for the cruise. I had the ability initially to be able to bring people, but I put it off, like trying to figure out who I wanted to come with. I thought about inviting Leah. I thought about inviting my mom. I thought about inviting Joseph. I tried to invite Demi. Like, invited a million and one people, but it was like too late at that point. And so that's disappointing, but I'm still going to be by myself, which will be fun. I have only been on a cruise once. It was the MSC Musica. We went to Croatia and like other places like that. Croatia is my favorite country that I've ever been to. I had so much fun, and I'm looking forward to see what it's like as an adult, you know? What's it called? Speaking of like, a cruise and a trip and stuff like that, the college that I went to, my alma mater, they're in their spring break period right now. And the guy who just joined my fraternity, I was like talking to him about spring break, and it reminded me I never went on like a real deal crazy buck wild spring break trip. I went on a trip with my friend Jace and Chandler, or no, Chandler didn't go, but my boy Andres did. And we went to Denver. We went to like this EDM show. We met up with a lot of my friend Jace's friends, who are just the best people. I've something you'll notice about me is like the people I've surrounded myself with. I'm so lucky that they're all great. And it's just like I just feel like I have all the love in the world, and it's now extended through like an online audience. The Quinians, shout out my dogs at the crib, shout out my Big Brother community, shout out the Survivor community, and it's just like I think that that is the greatest gift that I've ever gotten in my life is that I am constantly surrounded by people who care about me and share kindness and love and acceptance, and it's just like I feel very fortunate. Um, I'm sorry if it's weird that I'm not looking at the camera. I feel like that is strange to like maybe that's what you're supposed to do. I'm really bad at eye contact and stuff like that. But um yeah, so we watched. Okay, that's so annoying. It just kicked me for some reason. Hopefully this is still recording. I think so. I'll have to edit that out. That's so frustrating. But yeah, we went. I saw Sullivan King. I really like Sullivan King. His stage presence was awesome. He's like playing the electric guitar, and it's like metal music, and it's like mixed with EDM. I really loved it. It's like screamo as well. It was just great. And it really put me onto his music. We were there for oh gosh, it was like dinosaurs and shit like that. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I can't remember. But I heard that they're like people don't like them. Not out of like they've done anything controversial, but apparently it's like like it's like baby's first bass EDM artist. And so people judge me as like oh, you're not a real fan, which I agree. Like maybe I'm kind of new to it. But other than that, like I never did a real deal spring break. A lot of people from my college in Nebraska would go to they would go to South Padre and they would turn up. They'd have an Airbnb with a pool and a hot tub, and it always looked like so much fun. But I never wanted to go to South Padre because number one, I'm from Oklahoma. I've gone to South Padre with my family. Like, you know, like this has been a family vacation for me before. And then, like, in addition to that, when I was in high school, there were people on my soccer team and at my high school who would go to South Padre during our high school spring break, pretend like they were college students and, like, you know, make out with college ladies and stuff like that under false pretenses, which was unacceptable back then. It was unacceptable when I was in college. I was like, guys, South Padre is where high schoolers go. I think you need to be careful. And obviously, there's a huge population of college people going there. And that's why the high schoolers are going there, period. But that always just weirded me out. And I was like, I don't even want to potentially talk to an 18-year-old. You know, like you need to be 21 or get the heck out of my face. Like, oh my God, so gross. And I stand on business with that. Like, I'll be polite, but we're not about to, like, we're not doing this. You know, it's really sweet, but no. And that's always kind of been the case. Like when I was a senior, the only time people found me like even remotely attractive or cute or like whatever was when I was a senior and they're freshmen. And I was like, that's so inappropriate. No. And that's usually the case. It's like my peers don't see me as like an object like that. It's like an object, you know, but it's always like the younger people are like, Quinn is so nice and he's so cool, like whatever. And that's always just kind of not been my vibe, obviously, for you know, whatever reasons. Outside of like, you know, logic and reason. That's just my life. And so not gonna do that. And so I never went to South Padre. It always looked like a good time. Just not for me. Um, Something my fraternity used to do, which I thought was cool, was like they would rent out a cabin and then you would have like all your friends over at a cabin during spring break. That always looked like a great time. That was something that I would like totally want to do. I would totally plan like an adult spring break, which is just an excuse to go camping with my friends. But the funny thing is, other than my reality TV friends, a lot of my friends in this era of my life are like educators. And so it's like trying to convince your friends to like who are teachers to do stuff can be a little difficult. I feel like they have a very limited schedule of things that they can do, and planning around it can be difficult, especially when it's like, hey, do you want to go out and like get a little schwasty, get tossed, get fizzy, start feeling fizzy, like whatever. Like that's kind of difficult. I was going to do a podcast episode, and it was going to be the Dudes Rock episode, where it was going to be me and my college friends drinking alcohol, like different beers, and we were going to rank it. We were all going to bring our own drinks and then like do a taste test and chat and, shoot the shit and then just hang out. And we would record it for an hour. But one of the things was like my friend, which I respected his wishes. I tried to push back on it. I was like, dude, my podcast doesn't even get views like that, which is true. And I was like, maybe I'll put it as like a Patreon exclusive. And he was just like, no, he didn't want content out there as an educator of him drinking. Even though I was like, we won't attach your name to it. I won't put you in the thumbnail. It would take so many steps for your possible students to find it. But he wasn't rocking with it, and you just have to respect it. I tried. Normally, I don't push back on stuff like that. But this time I was like, I gotta shoot my shot here. I gotta see if we can make it happen. But the weekend ended up being so busy anyway that it just didn't come to fruition. We drank like the first day, and it was like we had one twisted tea, like a twee, and I shotgunned it. My friend Max drank one. My friend Austin drank one, and my friend Cake Up drank one. Max and Cake Up were the guys on my last episode of the podcast. And all of our faces were rosy red because we're all like adults who don't, I guess, drink that frequently. I don't know. But we were all like feeling a little goofy, silly, funny. And I just thought that was hilarious. Where I was like, wow, dude. And like the next day we were all hungover and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to push for this at all because I myself feel like garbage. So it didn't even work out. Unfortunately, the bars weren't even knowledgeable that it was like the end of our Greek week, whatever, at the college. And so they didn't even know that all these alumni were going to be coming back. So it was like they closed early. One place, I felt so bad. We showed up 15 minutes before close, and they're like, what are you guys doing here? We thought it was tomorrow. And they ordered a DJ for the next day, and I didn't show up. I was like, no, I'm not going to that. And it was so sad. I was like, man, that sucks. My fault. It's not even me. It was the school, and whoever like works there just got the dates wrong. But it was not the best look, unfortunately. But what can you do? Those are kind of the big things that I had on the docket, talking about spring break, talking about the cruise, talking about my social media goals, talking about my Twitch. I just put out this like Instagram reel and TikTok out there expressing my like dream casting for season 4 of the Traitors. And first of all, it took me hours to record because I'm under the weather. I feel terrible. And it was just like speaking of feel terrible. Okay, no one look at me. Everyone cover your eyes and don't look at me. This is gonna be gross. It was me trying to record through the sniffles, through my stomach making crazy noises, and me just feeling terrible. So that was hard. And it was just like late at night, the Sudafed had me feeling crazy. I was real dehydrated. And so it was like, I just couldn't figure it out. And so it took me forever. And I actually had to cut down the number of people that I had on my dream casting just because, you want the TikTok and Instagram reel to be a certain length of time, like just for attention, keeping their eyes on it type deal. And so there were people that I didn't shout out. Like I wanted Jerry Manthe to be on Survivor. I wanted B from Squid Games. And then like I had a longer thing of like, hey, Danny Butler and I think I called him Duncan on the oh gosh. Dang, I'm sorry, Danny. I called you Duncan for some reason during my Sharon Tharp interview. But like I thought it'd be funny if Danny and his mom were a team just like they were on The Amazing Race. They're from Walla Walla, Washington. And I thought it would be very funny where they're doing the show together, but they are a single vote. Like they get one vote since they're like an Amazing Race team. It was things like that. I also think that like Paige from Summer House, aka Giggly Squad, that's how I know him. I was like her or Hannah, but due to time constraints, I was like, I'll just say Hannah because I feel like Hannah as a stand-up comedian, I don't know. I think Paige would do fine. I think Paige would dress super well. But it was like I didn't get into the absurdity of some of my picks. Like Chris Angel Mind Freak is so funny, but no one's really talking about it in the comment section so far. The video is kind of a flop, I think. I don't know how Instagram Reels are supposed to do, but I'm not getting in as many likes as like a normal post would, like the carousel where it's like there's a bunch of pictures and you swipe on. So I'm like really confused on if that's good or bad. That like, am I doing good for an Instagram Reels sake? I have no idea. I'm gonna upload it on YouTube Shorts just to see what it's like, but I have no clue. Like I don't have the faintest idea, unfortunately, and I'm kind of disappointed by that fact. But what are you supposed to do? I had to do a last minute edit. It was so annoying. The cap cut like end thing was there on this like recording, and I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, man. What are you doing? My gosh, it's so ridiculous. I hate that CapCut has that stuff. Speaking of Traitors, I hope that I get on someday. I think that I should get a call. I don't think that it would be a bad decision. I think I'd be a lot of fun on camera. Um, and I think that something that would do me well is no one would know who I am. Like realistically, maybe like the other Big Brother personality and maybe the Survivor person if I met them before. But if people didn't know who Brittany and Danielle were, they're not going to know who I am. And so that means my like reputation of the Big Brother house isn't going to be there. And so then therefore it's going to be like I'm playing my first season of Big Brother again. And I think that that is something that I would do. Would then lead to me doing extremely well on the show. I think I would dress really nicely. Right now, I have outfits prepared, and it's just because I have an eccentric style and I like to dress nice. Versus I feel like a lot of dudes dress very casually, and so then when they get a call for the show, they don't have the closet for it. And luckily, I have that pre-existing closet. And so, yeah, I think that I would do a good job. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I still want to do Deal or No Deal Island. I'm hoping that I get a call for that. I applied for Survivor, didn't get a call. I applied post Big Brother for Survivor and didn't get a call. And so I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? Like I don't want to be someone who's complaining about not getting cast because I've been outside of the show for only a couple of months. But I'm also like, people probably should be beating down my door because I feel like I did a good job. I played the game really hard, and I think that I was really good in the diary room. Stuff like that, like sounding like Tom Sandoval, where it's like I was a pleasure to work with. Things like that. I'm like, give me a call. Come on, dude, quit playing with me. But yeah, I understand that it's like a game of patience. Opportunities will come, and in the meantime, it's my job to capitalize on the audience and opportunity that I have in front of me and try to create a life for myself so I don't have to go back to working in sales essentially. Like I feel like my job recruitment was much more sales coded versus like normal talent acquisition, which was very interesting, but I don't know. I think that I could get a job in casting, but my concern would be that then you can't work for that network. And that's kind of sad. I want to be able to do that, but we'll see. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check me out on Instagram. I believe that we will Quinn, or better yet, tune in Monday through Saturday, 7:12 CST. I cover the Traitors, Deal or No Deal Island, Survivor, you name it. I'm clocking in and I'm talking about it every single week. And then on top of that, I have like I play video games, Pokemon, Minecraft, Fortnite, Fall Guys, Among Us. Like I'm trying to become a live this life as a successful streamer, excuse me. And I'm hoping that it works out. So tune in. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a great day. I yield my time. Bye. Mwah!